when you're in the breakout session, make sure and ask. It should be in your booklets, but you may be wanting to pay attention to the presenters and not necessarily look through the book yet. But before you leave today, if you have any questions about who that is, just find me or any of the other board members and we'll let you know, okay? Now, speaking of board members, we are going to bring back a former YLC board member, Molly Barton, who is now the vice chair on the VSB Special Committee on Bench Bar Relations. And she's going to give a short presentation about some possible project opportunities for a partnership between the YLC and her committee. So Molly?
Let me grab a water.
Okay. Molly's going to grab a water.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have done that before.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's like a YLC reunion here. I miss the board meetings, I'll tell everybody. I absolutely miss the board meetings. So if you get an opportunity to sit on the board at some point, definitely do it. It's a lot of fun. You make a lot of great connections with other lawyers around the state, and you stay in touch. Nathan and I trade referrals all the time, and so that's a practical benefit of doing that YLC work. But there's also just the fun aspect of it too. So as Nathan said, I am sitting on the Special Committee on Bench Bar Relations. The purpose of that committee is to foster relationships between judges and attorneys throughout the state. Because as you all know, even though you're in your young lawyer phase, most of your interactions with judges are, well, the judge is on the bench wearing a robe and you're sitting down, below the judge looking up at them. And some of you may have had opportunities during law school to interact with judges as professors or in a somewhat social setting. I certainly did at George Mason. There were clinics and there were other things run by professors, and we got that opportunity to get to know some of the judges, and that really made me feel a lot more comfortable when I went into their courtrooms for the first time. But some of you may not have had that opportunity, or you may be practicing in an area not where you went to law school, and so you've never seen those judges except on the bench, and that can be a very intimidating kind of experience the first time. And also just interacting with those judges in that setting, they don't know anything about you. They don't know what your education is, they don't know anything about your background, and so they're just looking at you for the first time as well. So I think that it is a really great thing as a young lawyer to get to know judges in an informal setting so that you have that comfort level, and you can also get advice from them about what they expect in their courtroom and how they like things run. And so that is the purpose of what we're going to try to put together as a partnership between the YLC circuit reps and the Special Committee on Bench Bar Relations as a sort of it's brand new. We're just kind of doing a pilot here as a partnership to offer you guys one of the projects that you can choose from and offer us an opportunity to reach young lawyers and judges across the state. So what we're proposing is that we help facilitate programs in your circuits, if that's what you choose to do, where young lawyers have an opportunity to meet judges outside of a courtroom setting. They're not going to be sitting in a panel discussion kind of setting either. You're actually going to be sitting hopefully at the same table. Nobody's wearing a robe. You may be circulating, so you actually have an opportunity to talk to the judges, either just about, getting to know them or actually learning from them about courtroom rules, courtroom etiquette, just tips, bits of advice. For instance, there is a judge in Chesterfield Juvenile Court who does not like female attorneys to wear pants. I wouldn't know that unless somebody told me that, So that's the kind of thing that you can pick up on, and it may save you a whole lot of trouble down the road if someone will tell you that. And we're also hoping that we can incorporate clerks and sheriff's deputies and those kinds of things into these programs, because those are the folks who really have the lowdown on what's going on in the courthouse. Just as a tip, one of the things I learned when I first started practicing was if you're in a new court for the first time, or even just in a judge's courtroom that you've never been in, get there a little bit early and talk to one of the deputies and say, does the judge like me at the podium? Does the judge want me at the table? Can I approach the witness without asking the judge? And the deputies are happy to share their experience with you. And so That's just an aside. But that's the kind of thing that young lawyers can learn at what we're proposing to put together as a program. And so the format of the program that we have brainstormed in our committee meetings, it all revolves around meals, because who doesn't like to revolve things around meals? One that we have seen around the state that has worked certainly in my area, and I think Fairfax does it with their local bar Young Lawyers Division, is a breakfast with the judges. The reason that this kind of works is it's usually at 8 o'clock in the morning, before court has started, before lawyers have other commitments. You can ask the judges, they're probably there at 8 o'clock already anyway, but if you catch them ahead of time, make sure that they're going to be available at that time, and you can set that up before everybody moves into their workday. There's a little bit of a budget involved with that because you'd want to bring in coffee and bagels or something like that, but it's a relatively easy one for people to get to. The second one is a brown bag lunch. Just depending, if you're in a circuit that has a lot of distance, that may not work for people because that would mean several hours out of the middle of their workday. But in Fairfax or Arlington or Richmond, those kind of areas, you can relatively easily get to a venue on your lunchtime. The third one is a potluck or a dinner. This was brought to us as an idea by the clerk of the Circuit Court of Charlottesville. She said when she was a young lawyer in Charlottesville, they did these potluck dinners where the young lawyers brought different dishes and the judges ate and sat down around the table, and it really was a great opportunity to get to know each other. It's kind of a nice ready-made conversation piece too about what you brought, and whether you like to cook or if you just ran by the grocery store on your way and picked up the ready-made salad or whatever. So those are just three basic formats. Of course, we would be happy to help coordinate something else if you come up with something else that would work better in your area, because each area of Virginia really is different with the distances and the relationships in the courts and things. So the role of the Special Committee on Bench Bar Relations will essentially be to make introductions for you. If you choose this as your project, you will contact me, and I will reach out to people in your area, judges, clerks, older attorneys, who can help make those introductions and communicate and invite the judges or the clerks, or tell you how to do it, because they have those introductions. Because you may or may not have the judge's secretary's phone number. Some courts give that out, some courts don't give that out, but we will get it for you so that you can call the judge's secretary and find out if they would be interested and be available. And I can be sort of the liaison and make those introductions. We've also, our committee's bar contact is Paulette Davidson, and Paulette Davidson works with the Conference of Local Bar Associations. So she knows people all over the state and can really help facilitate those introductions for us. And then it would be your job to, communicate with judges or clerks or whatever, invite them and get your program set up using essentially the same process that you just learned. It'd probably be a lot simpler than a CLE because you're not going to have a whole day or several hours. You're going to have maybe an hour-long event that you need to plan for. But the information you just received should help you in that planning process. And then you're going to want to advertise your event. And that would be essentially the same thing as you just learned as well. YLC can help you with the email. The local bar associations can help you, and that's a contact that we can make through Paulette Davidson at the bar, especially if you're in a circuit that has several courts, in outlying areas. They can help advertise it for you as well. So Karen Gould was very quick to remind me that our committee has no budget. Committees do not have a budget in the state bar. But you all do have a budget that, if I recall, at least when I was on the board, almost never got used all the way. So use your money to, advertise, if you're doing a breakfast and you want to buy food and drinks or whatever, use that money to do that. You want to make these events really fun for people, and you want to emphasize that it's kind of a social event. We're not serving drinks and that kind of thing, but the idea really is to make that personal connection with a judge or a clerk or whomever. So let me see. What more information can I provide to you guys? I know that was kind of quick, but the idea really is just to facilitate an event to get judges and young lawyers in a room together on the same level and meet each other. Anything else?
Any questions for Molly? I know that all of this is kind of sinking all in right now, and you're trying to take it all in, so you might not have questions right now, but you might have questions later on. Molly's going to leave your business card.
I'll just leave them there by the projector.
And you can email her, give her a call, ask her some questions. And I'll be going over this a little bit more when we do our circuit rep breakout sessions. This opportunity more lends itself to a circuit rep because you guys are going to be planning your own programs, whereas the program chairs already have a program, but they're just going to be implementing it again.
Yeah.
So.
And do feel free to call me or email me, and I'm happy to just walk you through some ideas or whatever. And if you don't, if for some reason you send me an email or a voicemail and you don't hear back from me within a day, please call me or email me again. I have a family law trial practice, so sometimes I get a little distracted. And so don't feel bad about bugging me, because the squeaky wheel absolutely gets the grease from my office. So
Thank you, Molly.
thanks, and I'll leave the cards over here.